If you're thinking of having a drink, stop. Put it down. Watch this video first. Listen, I know I'm going to get a ton of different opinions on this video, and one thing I swore when I stopped drinking is that I wasn't going to push sobriety on other people. I also can't ignore how I feel, and that's amazing. So most of you outside my close circle would have no idea that alcohol was a struggle for me, well, for most of my life. I used it throughout my life and functioned well, so I thought I'd proudly tell my wife that I was a high-functioning alcoholic, like it was a badge of honor to drink so much and function well the next day. The truth is, I wasn't functioning well. It created an anxiety loop where I would feel anxious, so I'd drink to ease it, and it would help for a bit, but the next day, I wouldn't want to handle anything hard and would run from any confrontation. Ignoring tasks increased the anxiety, which would increase my drinking. It was a roller coaster I rode for many years. As realtors, we joke about needing alcohol, from dealing with crazy hours and ups and downs that most people never experience. It seems like the industry norm is to solve the pressure with a drink. I gave myself permission to drink at lunches and excessive on many occasions because as I saw it, I'd earned it by doing a job. Now, I'm not going to focus on why I drank, and as I learned over the past year that the drinking was not the problem, it was more of the symptom of the other things that I had to conquer instead, I want to focus on what it's been like since I quit. First change I noticed was my health. Getting to the gym consistently became a lot easier when there was no hangovers. Getting to the gym was the start, but eating better became easier. If you make good decisions like getting up early to get to the gym, well, when it comes time to be tempted by bad food choices, you have a stronger character to say no. If you put in the hard work, you will see yourself as a healthy person. And if you are a healthy person, you will make better choices. Finally, a loop in the positive direction. Now, I didn't go from out of shape to Chris Hemsworth, like Thor, but I made enough of an improvement that my confidence increased. And it's a positive loop that can take you closer to many of your goals. Second big change for me was the anxiety became less and less. When I felt stressed, instead of the bottle, I put in a little extra exercise time. Now, some will say I traded one addiction for another, and sure, if that's what it is, I'm not afraid to say I'm obsessed with my health and feeling better. The depression I usually battled at times still made appearances, but it was much smaller dragon to slay than the other times I dealt with it while I was drinking. I know not drinking won't cure anxiety and depression, but I can absolutely say that if you aren't eating healthy, exercising, and avoiding booze, you aren't giving yourself a chance. Third was my baseline happiness. That's a weird thought, but have you ever seen someone who seems in a good mood in a regular daily situation, like waiting for coffee, and another person in that same line can have a serious case of RBF? Well, this default happiness setting is how good you feel as a starting point. And without booze, this improved greatly for me. If you want to feel happy, then the booze will help short term, but in the long run, being dry will win the slight smile marathon every time. Patience. Now, a little drunk, you might be easygoing, but hungover, no one is. 1 year of no alcohol, I know I have more patience, and it's not that I'm no longer hungry or have the same drive to win. It's that I have more in the tank to deal with problems. I view a tank filled with energy to deal with life's challenges, and without booze, my tank is much larger. Problems come up all the time at home, work, everywhere, and you need energy to deal with it. If you're out of the energy, then you will get short and yell or do whatever you do when your patience has run out. Maybe you're like, okay, so you feel better, look better, but what about business? Hasn't it suffered by not being one of the gang and participating with drinks? First off, during this time, I personally had the best time of my career. I had no issue with events and being around alcohol. I find it funny that alcohol is literally the only drug in the world you need to explain why you aren't on it. I mean, no one's ever been like, hey, you don't do meth. How come? Well, with that, I found people had no problem with me not drinking. I was still engaged, participating, even hit up some wedding dances. The difference was I could follow up on those conversations the next day with clarity and purpose. I made this video not to convert you into not drinking. I made this to show you that there are options out there. And if you felt like you need a break or that some of the benefits I've mentioned are things that you'd like help with, then please reach out. Like everything, the first step is the hardest. Thanks so much for watching.